Hello, my name is Audrey Gordon, and I'd like to welcome you to the 12th day of the Dataverse Advent Calendar. Today we're going to talk about custom pages. Custom pages are awesome because they allow you to add Canvas-like experiences inside of your model-driven apps. So you don't have to decide, do I want to do model or what do I want to do Canvas? You can actually have the best of both worlds. I'm going to show you briefly how to do that today, and then I'm going to give you loads of resources, including a great end-to-end video from one of my peers, Reza. You should watch that video that's in the description as well as this one to get all the details you need for how powerful custom pages are. First of all, you can normally add custom pages inside the studio when you're inside a model-driven app. You'll be able to click either of the add page commands in order to add a custom page. After you click next, you'll be allowed to pick whether that page exists already or whether you want to make a new one. Today we're going to do it in a solution because we've been working in a solution all along, and this is just to help our solution package to be all done by the time we get done with our app. Keep in mind that there are various layouts for custom pages. I'm going to do the main page today, which means it is going to fill up that area in the model-driven app. However, you can also create center dialogues, side dialogues, or side panels, all from a custom page. Those other formats require a tiny bit of JavaScript as a web resource, and I'm even going to give you a link to the page where you can copy the code. The only thing you have to do, if you're not a coder, don't worry, because the only thing you have to do is change the name of the page. So you'll find this to be a very easy thing to do. Okay, so let's go look at this in Power Apps and show you what the value is and how easy it is to do. So I'm going to bounce over to Power Apps. And we were working in this app that we made yesterday and in the 25 days solution. So now we're going to add a custom page. Now let me tell you why I want to add this page in this case. I have all my event photography on a SharePoint site. And so model-driven apps don't naturally connect to SharePoint. I either have to make a virtual table or I can add a custom page to expose data in any of our over 800 connectors. So today I'm going to use the custom page rather than a virtual table because I don't know how many items I'm going to have. I might end up with a lot of photography. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that in to a custom page and expose that page in my model-driven app. Okay, so let's start by creating the page. So I'm going to go New, App, and notice I have Page here. This is custom page, right? So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to be launched into a very familiar experience that I'm very accustomed to, and that is the Canvas app experience. It's slightly different, but it's so not even perceivable. For those of you that have no Canvas apps, you're going to feel right at home in a custom page. All right. So I'm going to start by adding containers. Now, it's important to use responsive containers when you're building a custom page that's going to be sitting inside of a model-driven app. The containers will keep the responsiveness. And so model-driven apps by nature are automatically responsive. So they work on any device at all and they just rewrap. But Canvas, we have to configure the responsiveness, and we do that through containers, and I'll have descriptions in the description on how you can use the containers. Today I'm going to use these containers very simply by dragging this, slamming it up against the corner. And what I'm doing when I do that is I'm setting the X property for it to 0 and the Y property to 0. I'm going to set the width and the height of this to parent, all right? So width, parent, width, and then height, parent height. All right, so now I know that this container is going to be the size of the screen no matter what it is. All right, now I'm going to insert a vertical gallery, and this is going to be my image gallery. All right, now it will snap to the container automatically because I put it in a container. So you want to make sure that when you're inserting it within the container. And then I'm going to change the format of this. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And you can get away with just picking 3 columns. Let's pick 3 columns. Now, that has no text elements. So you see it has no text element. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the image. Well, first I'm going to connect this gallery to my data. So I want to get my SharePoint connector. So here it is. If you didn't have the SharePoint connection, you can create one here. I'm going to click SharePoint, and then you'll see my recent SharePoint sites. It is my event photography site that has all my photos. So I'm going to click on event photography, and then I'm going to select documents and connect. Now what I just did, you may do for any of our over 800 connectors. So think about all the opportunities you have to mash up data together so that people don't have to be switching contexts all day long, right? Do here for the height. We can just align in the container and then flexible width. That way we don't have to worry about those settings. All right. Now I'm going to click on one of these images, and I'm going to set it to the image property in SharePoint, which is just link to item. That's all we need. We need the URL for the image. Since it's on SharePoint, I just need the link to the item. So I can say this item dot link to item, and that will give me my pictures. All right. Now, one other thing I might want to do is adjust the wrap count. So the wrap count right now is 3 because that's the template we picked. So if we go back to gallery and we look at the wrap count, it's 3. Let's make it more variable. So let's do an if statement here. If parent width less than or equal to 1,000, let's make it 1. Otherwise, we'll make it 3. Let's see how that works. All right, so I'm just going to save this, and I'm going to give this a name. I'm just going to call it photos. Make it real easy, right? And then save. Give that a minute to save. We are saving this page, by the way, to the solution right now. Okay, it's not going into our app, it's just going into the solution. All right, and then we're going to come out of here, just press save here, and then publish. Well, I just wanted to test it first, so I'm just going to run it in the browser and kind of check that it gets 1. It goes down to 1 when it gets too small. Okay, it didn't go down to 1. Okay, so let's look at my formula. Less than 1,000, make it 1, otherwise make it 3. Let's see if that works. This is just the wrap count, all right? It's just how many times is our gallery wrapping. And I'm going to try and grab this without making a mess. Bam. Just grab this side and pull it in. And now it becomes 1. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. And I don't know if you noticed, but these are nice little images for the holiday spirit, right? Okay, so now we can save this. We could also, we We could play around with the height of this and so forth, but I know you know how to do that, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time playing around with the height of the gallery and the height of the template, but you know you can do all that. All right, so I'm going to publish this version, making sure that the save icon is grayed out. All right, if the save icon, which is here, is grayed out, then I know that I've made my last save and I've published, right? So now we're going to go back, leaving here. And when we go back, we're going to end up back in our solution. And in our solution, we will see the new page called Photos. All right, now we're going to go to our app, and our app was Event Services. It's a model-driven app we can tip off here. You do get a sitemap for every time you add a model-driven app or you add certain things, you'll get a sitemap. That's okay. We'll just look for the model-driven app and hit edit. And now what we want to do is we want to add that custom page to this app. Now, before we get done with these 25 days, you're going to actually see a whole lot of things that you can add to here, such as even Power BI dashboards, really cool stuff. So I'm going to click Add Page. You can click it wherever you'd like to click it. And then I'm going to click Custom Page and Next. And now I'm going to click on Use an Existing Custom Page and pick Photos. It tells you the app needs to be republished. This is a reminder more than it is an error, so it's a reminder. So you just click OK and then hit Save. You'll see it pop up here, and then hit Publish. After you save and publish, we'll do a quick test just by hitting play. If you do not see it after you hit play, it's just because okay, there it goes. Just wait a few seconds, it'll pop up. When you click on Photos, you'll see your photos show up here. So that's how easy it is. You can bounce between events, accounts, and your photos that are on SharePoint. Now, a big tip I'll share with you is if you're using a security group for your environment, and those of you who know what that is, that's fine. If you don't, I'll send a link to that in the description. But if you add a security group to your environment, which is everyone that's working in this environment for this solution, use the same security group in the SharePoint library. That way, nobody will see it. Not even the site collection admin will see it if it's permissioned only to an AAD security group. So that's a good way to protect any photos on the same level as everything else. But that security group that you use in SharePoint will be able to see all of the photos. And you could make that security group read-only if you'd like, so nobody can delete. And then have the people who are uploading photos be members, those that are uploading. And then you can edit the member permissions so that it's only add and not delete. All right, those are some tips for how to handle security in SharePoint while working in Dataverse. You want to try to match those AAD security groups. Also, it also helps that even the site collection admin cannot see something that's permissioned to an AAD security group unless they're in that AAD security group. So it's just something to think about. And that's all I wanted to cover today in custom pages. Like I said, I will be sharing some resources down below, especially Reza's video, which you can watch end to end if you want more details. He actually does cover it extensively. So thank you for coming to day 12 of the Dataverse Advent Calendar, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow, where we're going to get started with some Canvas apps as well. Thank you for coming, and enjoy your holiday season.